In the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. Flying high, I emerge through the flames. Have no fear, I'm here, so stand back. Melanin activate, the name is super black. In the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. Flying high, I emerge through the flames. Have no fear, I'm here, so stand back. Melanin activate, the name is super black. Imagine that, a future that's super black. Long as your skin brown, your superpowers intact. What would your powers be? Just hope it ain't super whack. Spatial manipulation, create a portal that's black. Maybe just super speed, time travel to run it back. Or cheat manipulation to keep my spirit intact. As I encounter evils the world face, demons the world makes, I needed the world at stake. Rest in peace to Chadwick, they killed all the Black Panthers. Told us white lies, I still marvel at black answers. Suits in DC, pray it lead to a civil war. It ain't no Justice League, what's the need to be civil for? Propelled like the juggernaut, it's clear ain't no stopping this. The world in grave danger, who can stop the apocalypse? They killed all the heroes, the new ones don't really care. But if you need me, put your fist up in the air. Yeah, in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. Flying high, I emerge through the flames. Have no fear, I'm here, so stand back. Melanin activate, the name is super black. In the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. Flying high, I emerge through the flames. Have no fear, I'm here, so stand back. Melanin activate, the name is super black.
Hey everybody, thank you for tuning in to Blurred's Eye View, Fury's Reacts and Reviews. Thank you for turning into us right now. I want to thank everybody who's been watching us and who's been supporting us for almost 2 years. So don't forget to hit that when you're on Twitch, Blurred's Eye View 1, subscribe. If you're on YouTube, hit that notification bell. You'll get the latest in gig news, and also listen to us anywhere you listen to podcasts, including iHeartRadio. But first off, I want to introduce our guest, Nix from Do You Speak Geek. What's happening on, Nix? Oh, you sound, you're muted. That's what it is. You're muted.
How am I now?
You're good there. You're good, man. What's happening?
Hey, what's good, man? It's good to be back, man. I'm glad to be back up in here with y'all again, man. Let's talk about some nerd stuff, some geek stuff.
Man.
Do what we do.
What? It's really not a real party until we get my man up in here. What's going on, man?
Oh, just not come in on me. I can't get rid of
I'm glad I didn't have my finger up my nose. This would have been embarrassing. Tell you.
That would make great television.
No,
I cannot get away from this guy.
He said it was Nick slapping you, and I'd be sitting there like, yeah, that's just, that's just not okay. What's going on, folks?
What's happening, Montel, man? It's great having you back on the game. Man, let's just get into it, right? Well, it looks like Marvel and Disney Plus have done it again.
I mean, we don't trust Feige at this point. I mean, come on now.
Exactly. If you don't, you're a fool.
Kevin Feige just needs I'll just be his footrest.
I have gone on record by saying I have gone on record by saying that as far as people I trust, there is my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, my wife, and then Kevin Feige.
Kevin Feige. He's right there. He's in there. Like it might switch out throughout the day. We're not sure, but he's still in that. He's still in that.
Absolutely, man.
Lord, somewhere Donald's like, "What about me?" Oh, well, you're a disciple. You're a disciple.
Yeah. You're like that 13th disciple.
Yeah.
Not the Antonio Banderas. Oh God, no.
Wow.
Oh my God. So this show is all right. First off, let's just give it up to Oscar Isaac. This man has managed to breathe some life into our geekdom, and he's in everything. He's been in Star Wars, he's been in Dune, he's been in X-Men Apocalypse, but that's okay.
Say it with your chest. Come on, say it with your chest.
X-Men Apocalypse. That's okay.
We all had to deal with that abomination.
We had to deal with it, but he did the best he could with the material he was given, so we're giving it up to him. And let's just start saying this. I haven't seen anybody do dual realities or dual roles like this since what is his name? They played young Professor X.
Oh goodness, I'm drawing a blank. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about.
James McAvoy.
James McAvoy, exactly. When he was in Split, exactly. When he was in Split and the switch and the turn it on a dime, and watching Oscar Isaac do that Split just on.
I'm sure he can get therapy after that.
If you don't,
man,
I'm going to be really concerned.
I would love to be the therapist after that, talking about
who am I speaking with right now?
Yeah, let me go get me a libation first, because this is gonna be a long session.
This is gonna be a long one. So let's start with you, Nix, man. What do you think, man?
Oh, man.
First episode. We're starting with the first episode. Let's start.
So episode 1 was like, I was watching with my family, and we were just enthralled with the switching. When he started doing the whole, and then all of a sudden, it's like, what? So everyone's dead because he just had a seizure. Like, what's going on? Now, me being the comic nerd I am, I'm peeping what's going on. I know it's happening. My family is like, what happened? I said, just wait.
It's gonna get worse.
And like, so is he? Yeah. And he's like, yeah. That's the whole thing I'm doing the whole time. But the way it was shot, first of all, was beautiful. The chase scene was beautiful. Not the best chase scene I've ever seen, but it still was amazing. And Mr. Isaacs, man, the way he just played the duality of these two characters perfectly was chef's kiss. Yeah. And the set pieces were amazing. The way they shot it in the museum. I'm really, really ready to see episode 3 when they take it to Egypt. I'm ready to see that scenery. That's going to be amazing. But episode 1, to me, a lot of people were like, whatever. But to me, knocked that apart.
Yeah, every time. Montel, what you think?
First of all, This was a roller coaster ride we've been needing for a long time. Let me tell you. Because if you compare it to the standard Marvel fare, you're introducing the beginning to the main characters, watch them doing some zip zop hoopla, blah blah blah. But the way they introduced Mark Spector, not as Mark Spector, but as Stephen Grant, was genius. Absolute genius. It set the mood, it set the pace, it set confusion because I've been because if you know the character Mark Spector, you already know he suffers from DID.
Yeah.
And you already know there's going to be multiple personalities, and you're thinking, okay, well, how are they going to introduce him as being who he is? But they did it from a perspective from one of the voices in his head. I said, this is gorgeous writing. I love this. Oscar Isaac, yo, my man, lunch and dinner is on me, kid. If I ever meet you, because he brought you in. You felt for Steven and you were feeling the pain of his confusion, wondering why are these time lapses? Why do I keep having to shackle myself to the bed with the sand around me? And he explained it, but it's just like, even in the back of his head,
it's such an extreme move.
Right. Yeah. So the mood was set across the entire first episode to me. Now, mind you, just like Nix, and I'm sure just like you, we listened to all the people talking about, I didn't think it was all that great. Pace was too slow. Ran out of nachos.
Ran out of nachos.
They said the same thing about WandaVision, and they got nominated for an Emmy.
Come on.
There you go.
Come
there
on.
You go.
You cannot let pace be the only thing that keeps you in, because sometimes the best stories start out slow because they're going to be details. They're going to be fine points that are going to be defined later that you need to catch now. The mood. I loved the mood. I'm sorry. If you didn't like the mood, something wrong with y'all, because I was screaming in my living room. I'm like, Steven, I'm going to kick your ass. But at the same time, how did you skip 2 days, bro? How did you miss? And I felt so bad for him when he went for his date and it was 2 days later.
Oh, that was crushing.
I was heartbroken
when he realized he missed the date from an absolutely beautiful woman.
Yes.
Right? And he missed that shot. And he's like, I'm like, dude.
What?
You fumbled the bag
viciously.
How? But then when he's eating steak because he's a vegan. He's eating steak. He fell that far, and I'm like,
wow. What's funny is that in episode 2. What's funny in episode 2 is how he blames all this shit's happening to him on the fact that he ate a steak. He blamed it on the steak. I was like, bro, I don't think a steak does that.
You're right. This ain't that vibe. I will say this from episode 2. There are things in episode 2 that as you know, as fans, we watch some of this stuff. We watch a lot of this stuff more than once. Then it came across my desk, like there are QR codes, that we can scan. So like one of them, here's in episode 1.
Yep.
There was a locker.
I thought I was the only one that caught that. I was like, yo.
I was just like, yo.
It's not even a number. It's just a QR.
No, actually, this was episode 1. This was the episode 1.
Yeah.
That was it.
I think that was like a free issue of like the first appearance of Moon Knight.
Mm-hmm. And I'm just like,
I haven't scanned the second one.
Yeah, I
scanned the second one. I didn't scan the first one. Yeah. I scanned the second one. I didn't scan the first one. But all I could sit back and I'm sitting back. I'm like, you fucking geniuses.
Yo, Marvel does stuff that no one has even caught on to yet from the Infinity Saga. Like there are a lot of people who have even caught on to the fact that when the Avengers were going to kill Thanos in the first act, when they played the Avengers theme, no one caught the fact that when the Avengers theme was playing, half the instrumental was cut out to symbolize the snap. I was like, who sits around and smokes and like, you know what we should do?
Whatever it is,
we should cut out half the instruments.
Oh my gosh.
They wouldn't even see it.
That was
it is genius writing what they're doing, and to have, we look for Easter eggs. I didn't see that coming at all. and I'm just like, this is good. This is good.
They are
Ethan Hawke.
called the House of Ideas for a reason.
For a reason, yes.
And they take
Ethan
that
Hawke,
seriously.
That opening is so crazy because he's doing this thing with his little shot glass of water, and he's doing the whole ritual, and then he crushes it and he puts it in his sandals and he walks off. And I'm like, okay. And then you turn around and now it's Oscar Isaac and he's using, and I'm like, where's the symbolism? Where is the symbolism? Because now it's a rabbit hole. Anything Marvel does will send you down a rabbit hole. And we've seen that with WandaVision, and we've seen it with Loki. It creates the most insane rabbit holes. And now I sit back and I'm just like,
now
enjoy the ride.
I want to see if someone caught on to this. When Harold did that with the shot glass, put it in his shoe and started walking, the first image that popped up in my head was Da Vinci Code. When the monk was literally flagging him, just torturing himself for the sake of getting rid of his sins, I sat there and I thought, why am I thinking Da Vinci Code just now? That really blew my mind. Again, like you said, you're seeing things that you're going to sit back later and go, oh my gosh, why didn't I think of that before? Nix and I were talking about this last night. We were like, yo, my brain wasn't ready for this, but I'm so ready for this. I don't want to do this, but I want to do this.
Are we ever ready for anything Marvel does? I mean,
no.
Like I said, I just enjoy the ride. They were like, what do you think? I don't care what's going to happen. I just know I won't be disappointed. That's all.
Every 6 months, Marvel asks us to jump down a hole, and we just jump. Like, all right, let's see what happens.
This is how cults are formed. I get it now.
Yeah.
Oh, hell, Feige.
Right?
Oh, hell, Feige.
That's not like Chris and Montel and Nix to do that. Join us?
You don't know me. Oh, hell, Feige. Taking a drink.
You do know Tony Stark died for your sins, right?
Exactly. That's the lie. Look, I still lead with the pandemic, and none of this would have happened had Tony not died. See what y'all did? Chicken sandwich from Popeyes, pandemic kicked off, world went crazy, and where did it all stem from? Tony Stark died. Like, damn it.
All he wanted was a suit of armor around the world, and look what happened.
Yeah, that was it.
He left with a pepper pot still bubbling.
He left with
still bubbling.
So we get some really dope looks. I gotta say,
oh yes.
I always wonder how, when Marvel transfers a lot of their characters to live action, I always wonder how the costume is going to look. And you hear a lot of fans say, "Oh, they should go with the classic look." WandaVision, perfect example. The Halloween episode. When you see it, you're just like, "There's a reason why that doesn't work."
Yeah.
And seeing that, I'm gonna take just another look at it, because there and shout out to Papa Bear Cosplay, because he's already completed his Moon Knight.
Whoa.
Show off.
But this
he's always been really, a show off.
He has. I love it. I love his work though.
I love him to death, but he's a show off.
seeing all their details that they put into it, it's amazing. Like,
I love it, and I love how they put. You notice, I had an idea that when they did this, they were going to continue on with the motif of the mummy in the sarcophagus. And when I saw the bandages coming and just covering him and making his whole armor and everything, I screamed. I said, "Yo, you are taking this straight from the history of the kings being wrapped in bandages." I thought this was genius. Absolute genius.
I never thought. I'm like, you guys really thought this through. Like, you took one of the, and he's not lesser known, so to speak, but you took an obscure character,
right,
and you flipped it in such a way that you're like, this is really ingenious. The fact that it's the Egyptian god Khonshu, and it makes sense to make his suit look like wrapped bandages that's armored. It fits now. It literally fits. And I'm like, yeah, I got you. And I got you. You know, and I remember the theories running up to it because Nick, you were mentioning the chase scene, and they were saying like the box behind him it said Von something, and all you seen was Von D. That's all you seen, and everybody was like, "Ooh, Latveria's in it." We're gonna hold that, but it's okay, and then me being who I am, I'm like, let's see what the box actually says. And it said something like Von Deutschstring or something like that. It was something crazy.
And that's another thing that Marvel does. Marvel will tease you with something and make you think that it's one thing, and it's not.
It's a subliminal suggestion every time because they will lead you with a thought.
House of Ideas, and King of the Red Herring. I just love it.
Can we give a shout out to the cupcake trucks, please? Because cupcake trucks don't get enough love, y'all. Because
whatever was in those cupcakes,
can we
dispatch a thug?
Special.
And that truck going backwards and forwards. I'm sitting there going, those cupcakes ain't going no motherfucking way. Are you serious?
That means if you eat, that's one of those cupcakes you eat, and then after you're done, you're just like.
That part.
What do you eat? Just a cupcake. Cupcakes give you itis, man. It just.
Bruh, can I get that cupcake too?
You sit in a slump asking dumb questions like, "Hey, man, do we have to pray over our leftovers?"
Oh my god!
I mean, it's leftovers.
So we prayed over once already. Like they've been
blessed it. So.
Are we twice blessing them?
Right.
Blessing them again, hasta la bologna this time. I don't know.
So, but yeah, it was a dope chase scene.
Yeah.
And the glitching, because that's what I got to calling it. The glitching of him coming in and out. I'm just like, this is genius. Because you've never seen that done in any form. On how somebody deals with a dual identity. You've never seen that. And I'm like, just to have that eye rolling back and everything kind of shaking, he glitches. He just bang, and he pops back in. He's like, what the hell just happened? So
I liked how they had the dialogue between Mark and Steven on every reflective image.
Amazing.
And literally just made it feel like it was such a natural exchange. Regardless to where he was looking, and you got into it, you didn't realize, why is he looking at the mirror like that? No, he is talking to someone inside of him and trying.
I love how the final scene in the second episode really showed the brokenness of both men, because not only you saw they both have splintered minds, but then you saw Steven in the broken mirror, hands all bloody, sitting there just looking like, why? And then you have Mark laying on the floor, drunk out of his mind, carrying the bottle. And it's like, yo, these men are fractured, bro.
And with the mirror actually being fractured a little bit,
right?
I'm like, you just tapping. And that, let's touch on the reflective surfaces. Their use of using reflective surfaces, not just in mirrors, but in the glass, in the water fountains,
in the walls,
in the walls, in the bowl where the bread is sitting, in the gun. I'm like, you're just like, this is crazy. This is crazy. And then watching him, because we're going into a second episode now, where he goes to the locker. And sees the pistol and all this. He's just like, and sees the scarab and everything. And then Khonshu decides to show up. What? for one, that freeze frame shot, that was hilarious to me. I don't know why. I don't know why that scene cracks me up, but the look on his face of sheer terror, and then to see his other side.
Mortals should tremble in the face of a god.
Just nothing. And F. Murray Abraham, kudos to you.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Can we laugh about how the scene where he runs out of the locker and he's running all around the storage unit and he runs right behind Khonshu?
Yes.
And I'm sitting there going, this is a Abbott and Costello moment if y'all don't ever recognize this. It's like, how'd you end up behind him? Okay. Somebody, I need another drink, y'all, because this is really. I can't do this sober.
and going back to the first episode where the jackal jumps out at him. Number one, I wasn't paying attention to the non-damage that the jackal was doing. I wasn't paying attention to that. I paid attention to him talking to Mark and saying, "Let me take over, or else we'll die." And then he transforms, and you're thinking, "Oh, we know he transformed, but we thought it was going to be a tougher fight than that." Until you see the jackal crawling to get out the bathroom, it's just like, oh, he's tearing into his ass for real. He's not letting up. He's not letting up. So I love that they, he's like, oh, this dude's a threat, like the kick, and then the 3 times punch, and I'm just like, yeah, this is good. I like this. Into the dirt.
Did y'all appreciate the cult like atmosphere once Harold started talking to Steven about him as Khonshu's former avatar?
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, he does that to get attention. He can't do no more than that without you. What's
he saying now, huh?
That part. Yo,
like, can you hear him? Like, nah. Like, I know Steven was freaked out. He was just like, wait, can hear him? He's like, how was his former aide or whatever? And Avatar. I'm just like, Avatar, yeah. He's like, I'm your former. I was his former Avatar, and I'm just like, you kind of can't get mad. And then now this is the crazy part. Now you're looking at Arthur like, is he lying?
Yeah.
Because he knows so much, and then what he's saying doesn't seem too far off from the truth, because then you look at Khonshu and look how he's reacting to things, and you're just like,
Khonshu was being like a petulant child. Listen to me, ignore him. I said, this is brilliant.
Break his windpipe. And I'm like, oh, okay.
He's telling you to kill me, isn't he? Right. Yeah, he is telling me to kill you.
So before we go further into this, I am going to do this quick little what am I doing? Yeah, I'm going to do a quick little.
What are you doing?
So I'm going to do a quick little movie promo thanks to our partners at Paramount Pictures. So here we go. Hey. The Contractor, starring Chris Pine, is now in theaters and available on digital and on demand. When a discharged elite special forces sergeant by Chris Pine is desperate to provide for his family, he contracts with a private military force and unravels a deep conspiracy, sending him on the run for his life. Buy or rent The Contractor and watch it today. Rated R from partners at Paramount Pictures. If you would like to win a free digital code of The Contractor, just type in hashtag the truth to win your free digital code, and we'll get that sent right off to you. Own the all-new Scream movie on 4K Ultra HD and Blu-ray, starring Neve Campbell, David Arquette, and Courtney Cox. Scream is certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. Own it today and get killer bonus content, including interviews with the cast, deleted scenes, and much more. Directed by Matt Bettinelli, Open, and Tyler Gillette. Rated R from Paramount Pictures. How can you get your free code, or better yet, how can you get your free physical Blu-ray copy of Scream? Well, just type in "Hello Sydney" for the next time in this show. You can type in "Hello Sydney" for the show. You don't have to say it that way. Just type in "Hello Sydney" during the show, and you can get your free Blu-ray copy sent out to you. Thank you to our partners at Paramount Pictures. And last and finally, you can bring home Jackass Forever today on digital. Johnny Knoxville and the gang are back with new friends and celebrity guest stars for the most hilarious, outrageous pranks and dangerous stunts ever. Grab your friends and get ready to laugh until it hurts. Don't miss a moment of the action and keep the good times rolling with bonus, never-before-seen stunts, including when you buy on digital. Rated R from our partners at Paramount Pictures. How can you get your free digital code here from us? Free on the house? We'll type in hashtag WeMan to win your free digital code. And thank you once again from our partners at Paramount Pictures for Jackass Forever, The Contractor, and the physical copy of Scream on 4K and Blu-ray. Thank you once again. So,
WeMan.
We man.
We man.
We man. So episode 2 is getting here because it's what 6 episodes, right? So we're in episode 2. And Steven is in for it. He's lost his job. He's lost his job, which this is a double-edged sword because I didn't care for his boss. I don't know where the HR is for this department.
She was the Karen you work for when you
my
work
God.
for a Karen. Oh my
Like
God.
there is no way she should be able to say half the stuff she just said to you, my dude.
You little Nate, you're going to inventory. You're going to do inventory. That's what you got tonight. You're doing inventory.
Like, I'll go to inventory if it means me getting away from you. Yes.
And she's there.
Gladly.
I
got to look you in the face.
Shrink. I will do everything if it means to get away from your ass.
Send me to the basement. Yeah, basic so-and-so.
Why is she taking so long? Because I'm making sure the inventory is right. I didn't need you.
I'm inventorying the labels. That's what I'm doing. I'm inventorying the labels, the stickers we put on the boxes.
What about the labels? They're inventory. Okay. Sticker you.
I'm alphabetizing them. There are no letters. I'm alphabetizing them.
This keeps them in order. Don't you want order? So there was obviously, as always, fans have theories. I'm one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Him working at the London Museum of Art. First thing I thought was, oh, he might run into Dane Whitman because this is where he was at in the Eternals.
Mm-hmm.
This may not be true now since he no longer has a job at the museum.
But he still lives in London, though.
He still lives in London. So there's still some leeway in there. And this is what I like about Marvel, because people have already asked, when does this take place? And I know the director was saying that there were Easter eggs like the GRC and like what you would see posters of the GRC and everything, like you've seen in Falcon and Winter Soldier and stuff, indicating that this took place post Blip. But they took a lot of those Easter eggs out because they want to see where this show will fall in the timeline.
Okay.
I believe it'll still be post Blip, just as far as where exactly I'd like to know.
Yeah, like how far after the Blip is this generally taking place? I see where you're coming from.
Yeah,
because Endgame is 5 years after the Blip. Just like I think also Far From Home and also No Way Home was also after the Blip.
Yeah. So
I think that was a year. I think they were 2 years after the Blip, I think.
Yeah, it's somewhere in that between 2 to 5. It's somewhere in that window. And well, I know Endgame is 5 years later.
Yeah.
But somewhere in that window. So I'm wondering if they're trying to drop it somewhere in there, which would be nice.
That part.
And so, but I love how he talks to the security guard. He was like, I gotta show you something that's gonna blow your mind. And he goes through it, and there was no damage. And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm like, there was a whole jackal chasing you down. So I went back and watched it again. I'm like, oh, the jackal didn't.
He didn't touch
anything. He even did all the damage.
Yeah. Jackal didn't touch anything.
He didn't touch anything but walls. I'm like, oh.
Because the jackal had a respect for culture. That's why.
And so I sit there, I'm like, yeah, Steven was the one that went into the stock room and knocked he literally pulled the whole
shelf down.
And technically, yes, it was Moon Knight who tore up the bathroom.
You tore up the Louvre, mate.
Oh,
he's gonna absolutely shit you.
I laughed so hard at that. He's like, absolutely going to shoot you.
So I thought it was amazing that they paid attention to detail on that level, and because you're so caught up in it, it's literally misdirection. And so by the time they show it to you, you're just like, that's not. Oh, it did. Oh. Smart, really smart, so
you gotta wonder, man, like, what don't they think of over there?
Yeah, but this is why Marvel is leagues ahead of DC, because Marvel isn't willing to do a do-over just to do something. They will take what they've already made and they will still splinter stories. and throw in Easter eggs and throw different paths. So we as comic fans, we're literally looking at the thing going, wait, what about rewind this movie? Oh, shoot, fast forward to this series. You see the connect. So you see the red string popping up all around the room. Oh my gosh, DC, y'all need to get y'all's mess together, bro.
Speaking of which, for a quick offshoot, I believe that deal between, I think it's Discovery Plus and Warner
everything
Media.
got a plus.
Yeah.
Netflix Plus.
I think it's
Hulu
pretty
Plus.
much done because they let go of 3 of the heads just yesterday.
What?
Yes.
Yeah, the merger for Discovery Plus and HBO Max is definitely gonna happen.
Actually, no, that's 4 because you mentioned HBO Max. So yeah, it was about 4 people. It was 3 people over the DC units, and then the one over HBO Max because he was a staunch supporter of Joss Whedon, and he was the one that brought him in on the Justice League.
Yeah, I like that Justice League. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Thank you.
So yeah, we'll be talking about that one Tuesday. So there's big changes going over it, which obviously got the big rumor mills going again, and then the stuff with Ezra Miller. So it's a mess. Yeah. But back to Marvel, the ones who's running the real show, the ones who's running this shit,
of course,
pulling in the cash and everything else. I don't see at this point in the game, literally, because this we're 12, 13 years in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah.
So
it's crazy, right?
I remember Feige saying in an interview that they were going to start doing short form, which is the shows. He did not fail to deliver. And people were like, when's the next movie coming out? At this point, it's like, when's the next show coming out?
Right.
Because the show is going to lead to another movie. We're not worried about that. They locked that down. They were just like, let's take over the small screen. Let's knock this down. Let's show these folks how it's done. And they do it. And they've had Falcon and Winter Soldier, Loki, WandaVision, What If? Good Lord. What If? Chef's kiss. Chef's freaking kiss.
And most recently, Hawkeye.
That's 5 shows in the tank. And every last one of them nailed it.
Regardless of what fans may have to say.
Exactly.
Because I know a lot of people who were confused as shit at the end of No Way Home, wondering like, who that other Doctor Strange? Oh, you didn't watch What If?
Yeah, you got to sit down. And watch.
you just thought it was a cartoon and it didn't have shit to do with shit, huh? Okay, I got you.
Those days are gone.
Don't you realize Marvel never does nothing for nothing?
Those days are gone. You need to stay on the ball, sweetheart.
I'm sorry. Everything Marvel does is for a reason. They are cerebral assassins over there.
I mean, when you turn around and you bring back 90% of the cast who's played these roles in live action to do the roles for a cartoon, like that's saying something. Like you could have easily gotten anybody.
Let's talk about what they've got coming. Oh my gosh, these projects
stuff on the way.
Yeah,
Secret Invasion is gonna be a big.
Oh my gosh, it's gonna be a bop. Let's go.
Like that's one of them things. It's like, don't talk to me. I'm in the middle of Secret Invasion.
Yeah, Secret Invasion is gonna be, if it's anything, and that's not saying much, but if it's anything like the comic, which I know it will be, it's gonna be nuts.
It's gonna be freaking insane.
It's gonna be nuts.
We knew this was gonna happen when we found out that Talos was subbing for Nick.
Yes.
And it was like, if Talos is subbing for Nick and his wife is subbing for Maria, who else is down here?
And I remember the first thought I heard someone say, like, wait a minute, so is Tony really dead? I'm like, yeah, because when he died, he didn't change back. So Tony's really dead.
He's gone. He's gone.
Yeah, he's done.
We gotta take this. We gotta take.
We appreciate your hope, but let that one go.
Right. It's
they
done.
tried.
Yeah,
They
don't
tried.
even Angie from our podcast, Blurred Corn Speaks, was like, is Tony really dead? Yeah, baby, he's gone.
Like, I'm sorry, sweetheart.
I know. Just
no
accept your
longer- he's-
heartbreak right now. I'll give you a
he's no
bottle of
longer with
wine.
us.
We'll talk about it. Come here. Come on.
Like, he's no longer with us. It's okay. It's okay.
Tony. Okay.
That still does numbers.
I am so looking forward to seeing what else they're going to do with this because there are still so many possibilities available with this series. And each one
they did announce that they were doing a Marvel Zombies show.
Yes. Oh,
animated. They're doing the Marvel Zombies animated. And I'm like,
I'm just
not even mad at that.
I'm just sitting here now looking at all the projects that they had actual dates and then the to be determined. It's
those to be determined ones that really get you.
Like, yo, it's easily like 30 projects right here.
Yeah. Yes.
And the ones that have dates are, of course, Doctor Strange 2, Miss Marvel coming to Disney Plus, Thor: Love and Thunder, an untitled Halloween special. They just finished wrapping up the principal production for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, She-Hulk, The Marvels, which is Captain Marvel 2, Guardians 3, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, X-Men 97, which I am going to go dumb over.
That's gonna be insane.
And then the to be determined goes from Secret Invasion, Blade, Deadpool 3, Fantastic Four, I Am Groot, Armor Wars, Ironheart, Echo, Wakanda series, Cap 4, Loki season 2, What If season 2, Agatha House of Harkness, Spider-Man freshman year, Marvel Zombies, and Shang-Chi 2. Damn, Marvel.
My pocket is officially flat. And I'm here for it.
Can somebody please get an oxygen tank from my wallet? Because this joke is just
listen
right now. It's
doyouspeakgeek.com/merch. Please buy as many of these as you possibly can. I need money to go to the movies and keep my subscription alive.
Bruh. Definitely.
doyouspeakgeek.com/merch, please.
Oh my gosh. Please
get the shirts. Support the man.
Because if Disney Plus doubles their price, I'm sorry, I can't say I won't keep it.
You want to do an old man a favor too? Go to RCB Media on Etsy and just buy a shirt. It'll help me.
It'd be so helpful if you please, sir and madam, just please. You gotta cup your hand. There you go. Get cup.
Disney Plus is $20 now, and I can't get rid of it. I'm too invested.
Yo, Netflix hit me with a $90 charge. I was like, "It's just for me. What are you talking about? What? Y'all took some of my shows away. I should leave you. No. We don't want you to leave."
And you know what? There's a guy I follow on TikTok, and he was explaining how certain shows are canceled from Netflix. Why certain shows, and it made sense. Like he was talking about he mentioned Santa Clarita Diet, which I absolutely love that show. And I think it was 4 seasons. I think it was, or 3 seasons going into a 4th, but the 4th it never happened. Netflix doesn't really make a dime from the shows. That's why a good portion of the movies that they have or shows that they have belong to other networks or overseas stuff. So when they make something like an actual show, yeah, they got the money to fund it for like maybe 1, 2, maybe 3 seasons. But we're talking like Santa Clarita Diet. We got Drew Barrymore and Timothy Olyphant, who's headlining the show. Obviously, in their contract, they have something that's going to ask for more money as the season grows.
Right.
Makes sense. Pretty soon, they're just like, we can't afford it. Can't afford it. Sorry, can't afford it. So we cancel it. So I'm like, so you created content the last 2 to 3 seasons. Most of the shows are 2 seasons. I think Lock and Key is going to end after the 3rd season.
Yeah, and I was mad about Cowboy Bebop though.
Yeah.
Could you at least give them one more season before y'all decided to pull the plug? A bunch of Karens. Oh my gosh, why is Spike Spiegel Asian? Shut up.
I had no problem with that show. None.
I loved it. I
love Mustafa Shakir who plays Jet Black.
My
dude. My dude.
To the voice, to the swagger, everything. Yo, John Cho and Spike Spiegel.
It was the perfect match. It worked.
And they got scared, but we got 700,000 cooking shows, 500 billion costume shows, 300,000 nature shows, 6,000 soap operas, and a cartoon.
And the cartoon, right. We get an occasional cartoon every now and then.
Yeah, they gave me He-Man, so I stuck around.
Yeah, right. And I had this, I was just like, oh, well, I gotta see this one.
That's how they get you, man. When you think about canceling Netflix, it's like, oh, damn it.
And just when I was getting ready to do it again.
But after this,
I was getting ready to do it again. I had watched up to episode 135 of One Piece, and I was like, all right, no more One Piece on there. Time to hop over to Hulu or something. And what they hit me with, the Adam Project.
Ooh.
Okay.
That was an incredible movie.
Shout out to that little kid. That little kid that played a young Ryan Reynolds.
That kid had to watch Van Wilder probably over and over and over again nail Ryan to nail the
There's a behind the scenes video that Ryan Reynolds has, and DC loves this stuff. But there's a video that Ryan Reynolds has when they were filming that movie. And the kid, like, they were sitting in a van or in a car or something, and the kid was sitting in the back seat, and he was reciting the entire beginning dialogue of Deadpool. And Ryan Reynolds is recording the stuff. Like, he's like, the camera is facing him, but you can't see you can see the kid a little bit, but he's reciting it word for word, everything, even the inflections, everything. And so when he curses, Ryan Reynolds' face is like, oh. And like, you did it. But he was so spot on. So when you see this kid in this movie, you're just like, he's giving one-liners as he's getting beat up.
Crazy.
And I'm like, this is such a Ryan Reynolds move, you know?
They made that kid watch Van Wilder, Waiting. What else? What was that movie where he was like the fat best friend and came back with a revenge body?
Yeah.
They made him watch.
You're not a fan of Ryan Reynolds unless you've watched Waiting. That's where I was introduced to Ryan Reynolds, was Waiting. And I said, whoever this guy is, I love his swag. I love how he's talking trash, and I'm all for it. So, but yeah, then they dropped that trailer for all the little movies they had, like Red Notice, the Adam Project, this one with Keegan-Michael Key, where it's like a animated thing where they're demons or something.
Mm-hmm.
They were just dropping, and I'm like, gotta watch it now, because these look good. I'm like,
very, very
another
good.
Another Jamie Foxx action flick. I'm like, or he's like a fighting vampires. Gotta watch that.
There's this new one now called The Bubble. I gotta watch it.
I was just starting that one.
The Bubble.
I was just starting that one, and I'm already in love. I think I'm half an hour in. I'm like, I had to go to work, and I was watching. I'm like, oh, I love this. I love all of this. This is hilarious already. So yeah, the whole thing. So before we get out of here, what are your expectations for season 3? It probably will be season 3, episode 3 to 6.
Man, I definitely think they're going to explore Mark's origins of how he became Moon Knight. You know, him being laid at the statue and putting on the cloak. I hope they also touch on some of the more political aspects of how he was in Sudan fighting, and how some of the villains that he faced were actually anti-Jew, and a lot of things they touch on here. I hope they really go into that. Maybe not go deep into it, but definitely touch on it. To really flesh out the origin and give you, all that there is of Moon Knight. Mm-hmm. As far as any crossing of other characters, I would love to see Black Knight pop up in there.
Yeah.
Maybe even get another voice or physical cameo from Mahershala Ali. That would be amazing too.
Like, look, it's Cottonmouth. No, it's not. But and see, that's another thing before we get out of here. That's another thing that they touched on was when Ethan Hawke's character was saying like all this stuff about Khonshu and everything else. He's like, he's like, this is my last mission. He's like, it's always going to be something. And sure enough, as Khonshu was talking to Oscar, as to Mark, he says, well, if I let you go, then I'll take my next candidate that's near and dear to you.
Yeah, you won't like the next candidate. Yeah.
I'm like, dude, he's gaslighting you.
He stated it before. That was part of the deal. If you saw that, he hinted to it and said, yeah, if you decide not to, she was going to be my next avatar.
It's sickening.
And that's why he took the deal.
And he played the whole line. He was like, you renegotiated the terms of our deal. I'm like, no, dude, you did. Oh, so Montel, what are your expectations for the next 3 episodes or 4 episodes?
I agree with Nix. They're going to explore more into the origins of Mark and how him and Khonshu became, how they got connected, and go a little more into it. But I also see them going more into his condition of DID, which is one of the main facets of this show, which to me is one of the plot devices of this show, because of the struggle he has with Steven, who in his own persona feels real. He feels individualized. He is a real person in his own recognition, not realizing you were just a fragment of Mark's mind. So my question is going to be, who else are we going to be introduced to?
Are we getting Jake?
Yeah. Who else are going to be introduced to? How are we going to be introduced? And how are they going to interact now that we know Steven and we're starting to feel Steven? You're going to see that conflict inside Mark's mind while he's trying to do all this. Yo, this is going to be a barn burner. And we're only in episode 2.
Yeah. And they're slowly getting longer. That's something else I noticed, because the first episode was close to 40 minutes. At best.
47 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah. So they're getting to that point, and it's just like, oh, you guys know what you're doing. Oh, because you didn't follow the typical form of short form television. You didn't do, okay, we're going to do a 30-minute show or we're going to do an hour show. No, use it. We want this episode to be 35 minutes. We want this episode to be 47 minutes. Why 47 minutes? Because we can.
And I love what Disney Plus and Marvel are doing with their shows as far as the type of content they're giving us and how they take us on this up and down. Because we led with WandaVision, which, just like Moon Knight, it's a complete mind fuck. And then right after that, you gave us Cap and Winter Soldier, brought us down, gave us more street level realism action. Then you dropped us right back in the crazy with Loki. Right back into the crazy. And then you dialed it back a little bit and gave us Hawkeye. Then you're gonna throw us right back into the crazy again with What If. it's I love what they're doing as far as taking us here and keep guessing the whole time.
It's like, from the fans to the casual fans to the people who are just getting introduced. I love this formula that they're using because it keeps you, like you said, it keeps you guessing. There's nothing worse. I mean, sometimes we don't mind actually knowing the story, but that doesn't really make it the greatest form.
Yeah.
But when you're guessing, case in point, WandaVision. When Quicksilver shows up, a whole week.
Man.
A whole week. I seen that. I was watching that episode before I went to work, and I'm sitting in my car in the parking deck and watching it. And I get out the car like, what the fuck just happened?
that
Did
moment,
mutants already?
That moment created content creators. Because if you weren't a content creator after that moment, You became one because you had to talk about it.
Yeah. Wow.
Like, can you going to work and just like, who's seen this? Who watched this? I need to talk to somebody.
You like,
I need an outlet.
I need a podcast.
Somebody
Let me get on
gotta
Amazon.
know.
I need a microphone. I need a camera. Someone gonna watch me talk about this.
Right?
And then to pull the rug out from under us. And I'm just like, why am I not mad about this?
At all.
And then they're just like, I can't believe they did it. I'm like, I'm kind of glad they did,
Yeah, I appreciated them for doing that because they visited things that people probably had questions about.
And people scream Mephisto for every single.
I'm not gonna lie, I was one of those folks for a bit. And
me too. Me too.
I did it too.
This is not Mephisto. This is some Dormammu level shit too. But it's not him either. He's got another gig.
He's got another gig. Right. Oh my god. So I'm looking forward to episodes 3 to 6 and just some of the zaniness that's getting ready to happen. Because we know it's coming. The
17-year-old comic book reader in me is gonna freak out this Halloween when I see a kid dressed as Moon Knight. It's like,
get ready for it. Just get ready.
If you seen, I don't know if you've seen the video of Oscar Isaac at the red carpet premiere for Moon Knight, but he's seen a little kid dressed as Moon Knight. He ran straight over to him. I'm like,
wow,
that's the first little kid dressed as Moon Knight.
Mother, I want to freak out the star. Mother, help me, mother. We will go to the drugstore.
We'll buy like he's a little short. He's a little kid. He was just like, I'm high-fiving this little kid. This is amazing,
Mother, I've been high-fived. Mother, can we go home now?
Yes, I'd like to keep my outfit on. Thank you.
And there are nuggets and Paw Patrol waiting for me.
I shall sleep in this. Please tie my leg, please, mother.
Put sand around my bed, mother. Sand.
And wake me up in 2 days.
That's what it is. I swear, he's at that age. That little kid looked like he was at that age that like the mom will walk in and like her soil from her flowers is sitting around his bed. Like, what are you doing? I'm making sure I don't sleepwalk.
Where are my rubber bands? I had to make a restraint so I can go this so far from my bed, mother. I hope you don't mind. I don't mind. I will get them from school to replace them. I'm sorry, mother.
God.
That kid's probably the biggest Marvel fan ever, too.
Oh, yeah.
Got blue tape in his room.
Got the eye Agamotto he wears to school. His teacher gives him a bad grade. Miss Davis, I have come to bargain.
I would say there's one kid. There's one child, and it's Henry Cavill's nephew. I don't know if you've seen this story before, but they stay over in England.
Mm-hmm.
So this kid's going to school. Superman's my uncle. No, he's not. It's not your uncle. He's not your uncle. They didn't believe him. A couple days, they didn't believe this kid. Who walks him to school one day? Henry Cavill. And the teacher had to apologize because she actually had made him like go sit in the corner for lying. Like,
Wow,
that's crazy.
Then Superman walks this kid into school one day and I am so sorry.
A British Karen known as a Stephanie. Okay. So we got Karens over here. We got Stephanies over there.
Over the pond. Oh my God. Nix, tell everybody where they can find you.
Man, doyouspeakgeek.com. That's central hub for everything. You can catch me at my IG at doyouspeakgeek. Please pull up tomorrow night. I have a live interview with the audacious Black Femme. Then Sunday, I will be talking to HBCU Con performing artists, the Mako Girls. So pull up for that at 1 p.m. on Sunday. But again, Do You Speak Geek? IG, you can find me there. Rocking and rolling, talking to blurs and nerds, freaks and geeks, doing our thing.
That's right. Montel.
Well, I'm not as elaborate as this young man here. I don't have a
and you'll never be.
Okay, fine. Be that way. I don't want to be like you. Doggone it. You can find me on Instagram and on Twitter under Navy Montel. I am considered the Unk in the Blur community. I don't know why. but I spread positivity and inspiration and motivation to all the blurs who are here and those who are in the dark need to come to the light. And just like my man here, Nix, I will have the opportunity to speak with the most magnificent Mako girls on the 12th at 7 p.m. in a Blurticorn convo. So we're trying to let these folks know that these girls, these ladies, these queens are amazing. They are
bad.
amazing.
They are bad. I got to get my hands on them because they are bad.
You can find me on YouTube.
I'm a little partial because one of the name is Keena, but that's just my
man. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And you can find me on YouTube and on Twitch under Rogue a Catnip because I'm a gamer and I'm a nerd. What can I say?
And check them out on Blurticorn Speaks as well.
Yes. Me and one half of the fantastic team with Miss Angie, the foodie, and we just finishing up our 4th season. Gary, going to season 5.
Congratulations on that. Check this out. You can catch me everywhere because I'm on IG, Blur's Eye View.
Nerd.
You go there. You go.
Like, oh damn, another Monday. He'll be all positive.
I'll be lifting myself about the fun.
Like here he comes. Hell, here he comes.
How am I gonna embrace this one and help everybody else out? But you can catch me on Blur's Eye View, all one word, all lowercase. You can also catch us on the link. Catch us on the link tree. You can also catch me on my IG, Chris.Fury1, as well as TikTok, ChrisFury1. I'll be dropping more content, comic book breakdowns, comic book character breakdowns, and the whole nine. Not just the motivational Mondays, because we got to get through the week, people.
This work is some hoe shit,
man.
We trying to get out the 9 to 5.
I'm trying to stay home, look at my bank account, and go, okay, I'm good tonight, and just go right back to it.
Yeah.
That part.
I'm fine this day. I want to thank my guest Nix from Do You Speak Geek and my man Navy Montel from Blurticorn Speaks. As always, if you tune in every Tuesday and Thursdays at 8:30 p.m., you'll see us talking to Blurs Nerds, talking about all the things that we can only talk about from our point of view. And until next time, remember to entertain yourself and others, educate yourself and others, and most of all, encourage yourself and others. And until next time, Nix, Navy Montel, Chris Fury, we're out of here.